This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories. The Empire famously destroyed the planet of Alderaan in the middle half of the original Star Wars film, either known as Star Wars or A New Hope, depending on when you were born and when you first watched the movie. Of course, we all know from later lore that the destruction of Alderaan created great controversy and caused many Imperials to defect to the Rebel Alliance. So I would like to take a look if there were any planets that the Empire could destroy, where they'd be 100% justified in destroying it, and would lead to very little Imperials defecting to the rebellion. Of course, I think no matter what, some Imperials will defect, thinking that the Empire should not have any kind of Death Star, and the destruction of any planet would be wrong. But looking at all the planets, let's take a look at some that could lead to interesting results and way less controversy in universe, at least. Looking at the first planet, they could destroy something like Tatooine or another planet under the control of criminals like Nal Hutta or Nar Shaddaa, but I think that destroying those planets would definitely create a bunch of controversy in the galaxy, and although the average Imperial citizen and Imperial would think it's great to eliminate criminals, there would be an extreme backlash from the rest of the criminal underworld, and could definitely lead to way more problems than solutions, and have many criminals join the rebellion to try to overthrow the Imperial rule. So I do not think destroying some of these planets would be a wise idea for the Empire, because they would either join the rebellion or be able to fund the rebellion with their mass crime empires, and either way the Empire would not be in a good shape and could fall even faster, with them not even having enough time to build a second Death Star. Destroying a planet in the far outer rim or unknown regions would not really work either, because if you think of it, it would have to be a big significant statement for them to make, and those planets wouldn't matter so much to people in the core worlds, so I think that will not happen. But looking at all planets, I think the most logical planet for the Empire to destroy that would seem almost 100% justified would be the planet of Lothal. Of course, you may not know what Lothal is if you did not watch the show Star Wars Rebels, so I'm giving a spoiler warning, even though that show ended like, 3 or 4 years ago. So let's go into why I think that would happen. In the finale to Star Wars Rebels, the Rebels are able to take the planet of Lothal from the Empire, but in doing so, they blow up a dome filled with Imperial troopers and officers, and they destroy multiple Star Destroyers, with at least one of them having the crew survive, but only we know that because of on-universe reasons, with being confirmed by Dave Filoni. So the Empire could claim that all those people are dead, and as far as they know, they are telling the truth. And looking at the Wikipedia page, it says there was at least 6 Star Destroyers there that each have a crew of approximately 47,000. I rounded up with some numbers and rounded down with a few more, so I'm guessing it's about evens out. And with 6 of those, we have the total kill count just on the Star Destroyers being about 282,000 troopers. And that's definitely a cause for the Empire to be able to say that these rebels on this planet need to die. And I think that this number definitely escalates because of the dome exploding, because of the rebels blowing it up. So, just to guess, there's maybe at the lowest a couple 100,000 troops inside of this, including officers and everything. And let's say at the most, there is maybe 1 million to 2 million that suddenly would drop off if we get an average of about maybe 500 to 700,000 people on that base, which would definitely get the rebels' kill count to at least be 1 million Imperial troops. It will be just under with these numbers, but with rounding and everything, it would just be nice to say they killed 1 million troopers at a minimum. And I think that this would give the Empire 100% justification for destroying this planet. Plus, Princess Leia would not want all these innocent people to die, so it would be just as effective as threatening Alderaan. And I think that this, realistically, would be the smartest plan for them to destroy. Although I think there's, as I said before, there would still be resistance to this, but I think it would be much less. And many Imperials would understand, because they definitely felt the death of all those Imperials. And I'm not even including the other ships that were there, because those are the ones that have crews of I think about like 20,000, but I decided to count on the big ones. So I feel like that this definitely proves that the smartest planet for the Empire to destroy is Lothal and not Alderaan. Just to remind you, sort of with some other stuff with Alderaan, the main reason it was destroyed because I believe it was considered the heart or soul of the galaxy, with Coruscant, I believe, being maybe the heart or brain. I don't remember exactly what the analogy is, but I remember that Alderaan was considered one of the most important planets in the galaxy because of its culture, with art and it being a beautiful planet. And definitely think that Lothal would have been a smarter planet to destroy because of what it represents, and shows that there is no way to get away from the Empire. The best way to think of this in real terms would be like, let's say a nuke is dropped on a city. What would you think would be a more unpopular version of this if the nuke was dropped on a city that's beautiful like Paris or Venice because there was a few people there that posed a serious threat, or if it was thrown on a city that had a violent uprising that led to the deaths of hundreds of thousands to millions of troopers? Definitely the first one would be a lot more controversial. The second one still likely would be controversial, but it wouldn't be as controversial as the first one. And that's why I think if the Empire had to destroy a planet just to show how powerful the Death Star was, the planet had to be Lothal. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories, and may the Force be with you.